Now that we have seen all the slides, let's try to differentiate similar looking slides. Have you tried identifying these two slides? Slide 1 is of jejunum, where we can see the villi and absence of Peyer's patches, as well as no Brunner's glands. Slide 2 is of large intestine, where large number of goblet cells are seen, villi are absent. However, intestinal glands are seen in lamina propria of both these slides. Remember, goblet cells increase in number as we go down the GI tract, starting from the duodenum. These two slides can be differentiated by looking at the lamina propria, where the fundic and pyloric glands are located. Stomach has a lining epithelium of simple columnar cells. An absence of goblet cells rules out intestinal slides. The gastric glands are longer and the gastric pits are shorter in case of fundus compared to pylorus of stomach. In the glands of fundus we find the eosinophilic stained parietal cells, whereas in pylorus we find the basophilic mucus cells in pyloric glands. The lining epithelium and the location of the glands would give you a hint to identify these two slides. Duodenum has the presence of goblet cells in the lining epithelium, while this feature is absent in stomach. The duodenal glands are located in the submucosa, while the gastric glands are located in the lamina propria of mucosa. This one is another set which can often be mistaken. Have a look at the prominent, finger-like villi in slide 1 and the regular arrangement of lymphatic nodules called the Peyer's patches. This is seen in case of ileum. Look at slide 2, where you can see the muscularis mucosa is disrupted and the lymphatic nodules are seen both in mucosa and submucosa, not regularly arranged as in ileum. Slide 2 is of appendix. Another clue to confirm it is the appendix is: take your eyes away from the eyepiece and look at the slide on the stage of the microscope. In case of appendix you can see a complete circle with a lumen. Both these slides look similar, but the lining epithelium is the feature which helps to differentiate them. In case of slide 1 we see the thick muscular tube, the vas deferens, with the lining epithelium of pseudo-stratified columnar with stereocilia. Slide 2, the ureter, we see the characteristic transitional epithelium with umbrella cells. Another point to note in slide 1 is the presence of sperms in the lumen of vas deferens. Slide 1. The epididymis has sperms in the lumen and the lining epithelium is similar to that of vas deferens, which is pseudo-stratified columnar cells with stereocilia. In case of slide 2, we see colloid-filled thyroid follicles and the lining epithelium here could vary from columnar to cuboidal cells. Another clue to confirm it is the thyroid slide is by the presence of the parathyroid tissue also seen along with this slide. Slide 1 and Slide 2 we see serous acinus with the biphasic stain. The only way to differentiate the two is Slide 1 of pancreas we can see lightly stained areas which represent the islets of Langerhans cells. Slide 2 of serous salivary gland have intra and interlobular ducts clearly seen. Slides of ganglion are often mistaken by students. In spinal ganglion we clearly see the groups of large pseudo-unipolar neurons. The axon bundles intervening in between the groups of neurons are also well identified. However, in sympathetic ganglion the multipolar neurons are smaller in size and they are scattered. The grouping in spinal ganglion and the scattered appearance in sympathetic are the key points to remember. Two slides mistaken are seen here. Observe the type of cartilage, and the lining epithelium. In trachea it is the hyaline cartilage whereas in epiglottis it is the elastic cartilage. The lining epithelium in case of epiglottis is of two types, stratified squamous and we also see the respiratory epithelium which should help to differentiate the two slides. These two slides look similar since their lining epithelium is the same, stratified squamous. We can identify thin skin by the presence of the hair follicle and sebaceous gland. Though the appearance of sebaceous glands can be mistaken for esophageal glands. As we observe these two slides, we should look for the pointed structures to identify and differentiate. The arrows in the two slides are pointed towards the key identifying features in each of them. In the slide of liver identify the portal triad and the hepatocytes radiating from the central vein. In the slide of kidney, identify the Bowman's capsule. These two slides are often mistaken by students. In the slide of cerebrum or suprarenal gland the various layers are hard to differentiate. The pointed pyramidal cells is what you have to look for in cerebrum. In suprarenal gland the U-shaped arrangement of cells in the zona glomerulosa which is present right beneath the capsule helps to identify. Look at the pointed structures which will give you a hint to identify and differentiate these two slides. Internal elastic lamina is a characteristic feature of medium-size artery. thickest layer in case of large artery is the tunica media with numerous elastic fibers and a few smooth muscles. In the large vein, the tunica adventitia is the thickest layer with longitudinally arranged smooth muscle bundles. Here's the most challenging one, which is often confusing. Let's see how to differentiate. Slide 1. Prostrate has the characteristic fibromuscular stroma in between two acinus, which is not seen in any of the other three slides. Lining epithelium seen here is pseudostratified cuboidal epithelium with prostatic concretions seen in the lumen occasionally. Slide 2 of mammary gland has eosinophilic secretions in the lumen. No fibromuscular stroma. Slide 3, lung, we see the alveoli lined by simple squamous epithelium. We can always see the intrapulmonary bronchus with plates of hyaline cartilage in the slide of lung. Slide 4 is identified by the presence of sperms within the lumen and lining epithelium of pseudostratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia. No fibromuscular stroma seen here either. Hope this video has helped you differentiate the frequently mistaken slides. Hope this helped you